Hey guys, it's Carrie here. I'm back with another video. This time I'm excited to show you guys my portfolio for my first semester of art classes in college for my prerequisites for animation. So I'm excited to show you guys this, and I'm gonna show you guys my work from Drawing 1 and 2D Design that I took last semester, and I can't wait. Alright guys, before we start, I'm going to let you guys know that this is my very first art classes that I ever took. I took like one in high school, but it was all the way sophomore year, and it wasn't very intense. It was just a general art class. So this was like my first really intense art classes, and I'm excited to show you guys how much I've improved since then, since all my life I've been self-taught in art. Like with my drawing, I learned from practice and tutorials and trial and error, and so it's completely different from my design background, where I went to Magnet High School for it, and then I went to technical school as well for it, so that I had schooling in. But for drawing, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of the fundamentals that really transform my art in some of these projects, and at the same time, I wanted to let you guys that last semester was some of the most stressful ones for me at least, because at the beginning of the semester I had 2 jobs, so I kind of was slacking on the first 2 assignments, but like towards the end, when like my other job ended, it was more of an internship, but it was like a full-time job. So once that ended, I was able to focus a little bit more, and 2D design was like my hardest class, because I had a really great professor, and she really pushed me, and some of my favorite projects actually from art are from that class, because she pushed me that much, because I was about to give up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle the stress, but I decided to continue. And also one last thing that you guys should know, these are my prerequisites that I'm taking at my community college for my animation degree. So I'm gonna get my AA and then like transfer to university for my animation degree. So yeah, this is not one of those AP art portfolio videos. It's just me showing you guys what it's like to be in art class, and if it's worth it or not, and what I learned and whatnot. So sorry for the rambling, let's get on right to it, like I said at the beginning. Alright guys, so to get started, I'm not going to be going in any particular order. If I get to the portfolio, I'm going to start with the sketchbook for my Drawing 1. We did have to carry a sketchbook, but we didn't have as much homework for my professor compared to other kids that had other professors. So I'll start with this one, since there's not as much drawings in here. And so with that one, so the first assignment that take home that we had to do for Drawing 1 was actually to do a life study of a shoe, like your shoe in a specific angle and with like shapes and stuff. So we had to take a picture of it. So this is the picture of, oops, upside down. I will have close-ups, by the way. So this is a picture of my shoe, and I had to draw my shoe. So it was a life study, and there was no specific requirements for this. He was just trying to test our skills, to see where we're at, and also he wanted to make sure that we use the foundation that we used for the first lessons in the class by by starting with a vanishing point, because the first couple of projects that we did were based off the vanishing point, but everything exists on a plane and like lines connecting to it. So he was like making sure that we did those first preliminary lines before we did everything else. Like he was like checking, he was saying, what did you do this? And he talked to each and every single one of us. So this one was a cross contour drawing that we're supposed to do of an animal object. I decided to do a stuffed animal, and I actually did this one last minute. So guys, don't be like me. So that was my professor's line, because my lines were super light, like I was afraid to go dark, also because I didn't have the right sets of pencils too. So make sure you guys get your supplies for class as well, because that affected my grades. So I didn't go dark, so he was showing me how to vary my lines, like right here. I'll get a close-up. That was it. That's the end of the sketchbook. And now let's get into the portfolio. So I'm gonna start with newsprint 18 by 24. This is super huge. It fits this whole frame. So some of my favorite drawings were in here because I can make mistakes all I want. It's actually falling apart. I don't want to mess this up. So yeah, we started a lot with perspective, like we said on the first day. Oh my gosh, this is ripping apart. So some of the first assignments again were perspectives. We did so much perspectives, and they're perspectives from life. He just put a lot of boxes in front of us and we had to draw it, and that's how he taught us a lot of the elements of drawing, and with the lines and width and variety, and we slowly kept drawing boxes for the first 2 weeks of class until we learned a lot of the fundamentals like shading, value, and we learned all of that through boxes because the class was for people all different types of levels. There's some people that never drawn before in their life, and they got so much better towards the end of the class actually. I did my very first charcoal drawing, Willow charcoal, and that's when we got a life study that was in boxes, and I was really excited about that, and I was really proud of it, guys. So that was my first experience with Willow charcoal, and it was so easy to blend with, and it was easy to go dark. So, and that was a life study that we did, the very first one that we did. And then we did some gesture drawings, which I wasn't used to, so they were so horrible. Look at this one. It was we had time gesture drawing. They were super fast. They were 30 seconds, minute, and I couldn't think. I was just whoa, and it really helped me prioritize which lines I put down first to capture the movement and the accents. So these were mine. They're pretty horrible. But I learned a lot from them, and I kept improving as we did them. We did them for almost 2 full class periods, and to let you guys know that these art classes were 4 hours long. They were from 9 to 12. So each of them, so 9 to 12 for the drawing one, and then 12 to 3:30-ish. So yeah, so some more gesture drawing, and I was really horrible with them, especially when it came to the 30-second ones. At first, we did one that was 5 minutes. It was this one that was 5 minutes, and so with the gesture drawing, I had a hard time before because I never did that before, and it taught me a lot about form and motion. And that was also some of the very first time we drew people in the class. Before we were just drawing boxes and objects, and these were some of the longer gesture drawing studies. So better close up. But I'm just doing that also to help me when I'm editing, so I know which drawing I was talking about. And yeah, we did and as we did more gesture drawings, we did more some of our classmates, and because at first it was our professor just standing up there and posing, and then our classmates got up there. I even got up there, only for extra credit though. So yeah, it was interesting. And for the ones with our classmates, we had a little bit longer. We had around 5 minutes, which at first for me sounded ridiculous until we kept doing the 30 seconds and the 1 minute one. And this one I'm really proud of. This one was a 5-minute gesture drawing study. There'll be a better focus and stuff, and I'm really proud of it. I was able to capture her in this wasn't from a photograph. Usually when I do life studies, I usually do them from photographs, so I don't have to rush as much to get the details, which sometimes could become a crutch for me at least. So these are some more. I still struggle with a lot of the poses, and especially when it's in a certain perspective. Oh no, that one wasn't the one I was most proud of. It was actually this one. This one I was able to go dark, and I was able to get the pose as good as I could. It was a very simple pose, and I was able to get the shadows. I even started to do some of the face within the past 5 minutes, which I couldn't for the life of me the first time we were doing that. Here's some more. I don't think I could put this up more, guys, because it's starting to rip. Because that's the thing with newsprint. And also, I never really drawn on such big canvas before, so it gave me so much time to add detail. So we're done with those gesture drawings, and it helped us prepare towards our final project for the class, which we had to select an famous artist, either from, we had a list, and we had to select favorite artists, do research on them, and do a presentation about them and their styles and what they use. And I chose Leonardo da Vinci, and so here, that's where, sorry, my camera cut off. So we had to, so for the final project, I decided to do Leonardo da Vinci, and I decided to do my final sketch. No, not my final sketch. I sketched out my sketch on here because it had to be on a big piece of paper. And so before I did it on the nice, high quality, almost $5 piece of paper that I got at Hobby Lobby, I decided to just like plan it out on here and do a bunch of like gesture drawings so that way I can know where to place it. And also, I didn't just do it on this sketchbook. I did it on my own personal sketchbook that I'll show you guys. I have visual right here. So by doing all those gesture drawings, it really helped me a lot better to, I never really fully drawn from life. I drawn from photograph, but my teacher was right, drawing from life and drawing from photographs are two different types of experience, and it forces a lot out of your eyesight and your hands to just like get that down real quick and as accurate as possible. So that I really like that. So I really like these were some of the more fun, less stressful projects in the newsprint, since it was just like practice and stuff. So let me show you guys some of the work let me show you guys some of the work on the nicer sketch pad. It's 18 by 24 as well. It's nicer. This is the brand. And we did some more detailed drawings on here. And again, I'm going to go through the beginning. We started with a lot of perspective drawings. We did a lot throughout the beginning, so much. We kept drawing boxes, and as you saw, the more I drew boxes, actually got better. Like one thing I learned with perspective and lines is as things are closer to you, the lines are like darker and sharper at the corners. When they're farther away, they're like more softer and like kind of like fade into the background, which I didn't really have a grasp on. I kind of understood it a little bit before, but I never had to practice it in my eyes. So those perspective of just drawing boxes and over prepared me for other objects, more complicated one like teacups and kettles. This one was another one that I was proud of. This one was willow charcoal, or vine charcoal. And it was a study of a plant. And I was like at a weird angle, and it was like flowers and stuff, and then there was like leaves coming at you. So it's kind of difficult for me to portray that. So that's why, also because I didn't spray fix this, so half of it is on the other page. So I did add a lot of details to this, and I even added details to the sheet, and there was like direct light, so yeah, I'm proud of that one. Is another life study, and this one was completely pencil. And this one actually used a darker pencil. I got a hold of an ebony pencil so I could go into the darker shadows, because I realized that was holding me back. And sometimes we would do walk around during class, and I was like, oh, I see some people's work look really nice, and I realized it's because they have a lot of values in their art. There's a lot of darks where there needs to be darks, and there's a lot of light and mid-tone. You could clearly see it, and my work didn't have that. It was either all mid-tone or all light. So in this one, I'm really proud that I was able to convey that with pencil and not just charcoal. And I took time into the details, and it was, yeah. So this video is going to be a little bit long, guys. If you guys can see, you guys got this far. And so that was just for my drawing class. So we'll finish with this one. So now for some of the individual assignments. In here, we did some mid-tone drawings studies, and with this one was my favorite drawing for Conte. It was a mix of Conte and charcoal, and we had to go outside for class and we had to draw like buildings. And so I decided to draw this one and also use white Conte for the highlights. And this piece actually was featured in an art gallery that I did. Student Art Show. I think it was Art Gallery. Student Art Gallery. So I submitted that one, and I was very proud of it. I was able to go and I was able to add in as much values. I feel like I could have went darker, but this one was also another life study that I could have went darker again with the shadows. This one was all pencil, and I did the highlights with white Conte, and I didn't go as dark as I should. It would have made the piece a lot stronger, but overall I was really proud of this because of the accuracy that I was able to get. I kind of struggled with this at first because I was at such a weird angle compared to everyone else, but I was able to get like everything in the foreground, and drawing this weird like foot thing was like a pain in the ass, and I got better at drawing skulls. Still not the teeth though. So now we're done with the drawing one stuff completely. Now I'm going to show you my 2D design stuff. They're smaller projects. It's all that's in here. So I'm going to show you guys the one that, it's no in order specifically, the one I'm really proud of. We did a calligraphy self-portrait, and I'll show you guys some, I'll be like right here, some behind the scenes that I post on my Instagram story of this. This was really fun to do. At first I thought it was going to be like really impossible, but it was really interesting shading with text and using I used a bunch of like multi-liners, and we had to use words, and the words that I used were self-love for mine. Other people used their names, and everyone for this project came out super nice. So this one was like pretty really fun to shade, because that was when I had like the blonde bob, and so it was also a challenge to do the hair. And for this one we had to sketch it out with, we were supposed to do it in a grid, but I didn't follow the grid, I freehand it, so that's why it doesn't look exactly like me. So yeah, and the grid actually helped me put the shadows a lot better, and we had to come up. I was really proud of this one, and also this one was one of the artworks I put in my first art gallery. This project was a stamp project. It was actually kind of difficult. We had to do a design that had to be repetitive and lined up, and even though for me I did my logo, it was kind of hard to line up. I did the best that I could. I'll show you guys the whole stamp thing. We had to carve out the stamp and stuff. So this, I had to take good care of this. This was the first project that we did in my class. It was a collage, and we had to have a theme, and had to relate to something. I didn't really understand the project, so I did a thing with technology, but I didn't grasp it enough with colors, and I did the best that I could, but I got a decent grade on this, but I didn't really completely understand the objectives. And the hardest part of this assignment for me was actually cutting. We had to cut all these pieces with X-Acto knife, and the paper was really thin, and it was a trouble for me to cut all these tiny pieces. So I hated those projects. The ones where I had to cut, because I sucked at cutting, and we had to have, for those projects we had to have really good penmanship. We had to do a painting based on color schemes. So we had to do at least 3 different color schemes, either analogous, monochromatic, or complementary. So for this one, I didn't think I did as good because I'm a digital artist, so painting was actually very difficult. So I didn't align with the color scheme as good, because we had to, and also another challenge of this one was we had to only use primary colors, and then we had to mix them to get other colors. And so if you never painted before, and like certainly the last time I painted was middle school. So this was a challenge for me, and you guys could see that I did Luna chew the heart thing, because that was like my final, and I was preparing for that animation, so I decided to do her. But either way, I'm proud of it. I really like this one. I'm definitely going to be redoing these and some of those projects and do them a lot better, because I feel like I could have put in a lot more work, especially the one with the analogous color scheme. And now I understand those art challenges that I see on YouTube with the 3 marker challenge. This was basically that. It felt like that with color. So that was interesting. Also, since I never painted before, mixing those colors was really hard, like mixing orange and getting like this blue, and she told us not to mix it with water, and I did because I didn't listen. So guys, don't do that, and that's how I was able to get the skin tone. I hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you guys for sticking around. I hope you guys learned something or found this entertaining, and I definitely learned a lot since I took my first art class since these classes, and right now I'm taking 2D design, so I'll have another video up like this for 2D design because I'm not good at sculptures and I never sculpted before. So yeah, this is interesting. This was pretty interesting for me too, because I realized how one-dimensional I was with my art, and especially with 2D design where I tried different art forms. It took me out of my comfort zone. It was really hard. Some of the concepts were really simple, but I never done them before, like using X-Acto knife. The only time I had to use X-Acto knife was actually for cutting prints in like my design classes in high school. So yeah guys, I'm sorry this one was a little bit longer. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you guys in my next one, and have a good one.